Hello, I'm Willie from the Ozarks here in the Rocky Mountains, sitting on the side of Cow Creek on the White River in Colorado. You can see some snow on the mountains behind me. Hopefully you can see them. Lesson 190 in A Course in Miracles workbook for students here on July the 9th of 2022 from the original edition. I choose the joy of God instead of pain. I choose the joy of God instead of pain. Pain is a wrong perspective. When it is experienced in any form, it is a proof of self-deception. It is not a fact at all. There is no form it takes which will not disappear if seen aright. For pain proclaims God cruel. How could it be real in any form? It witnesses to God the Father's hatred of His Son, the sinfulness He sees in Him, and His insane desire for revenge and death. Can such projections be attested to? Can they be anything but wholly false? Pain is but witness to the Son's mistakes in what He thinks He is. It is a dream of fierce retaliation for a crime that could not be committed. For attack on what is wholly unassailable or unattackable. It is a nightmare of abandonment by an eternal love which could not leave the Son whom it created out of love. Pain is a sign illusions reign in place of truth. It demonstrates God is denied, confused with fear, perceived as mad, and seen as traitor to Himself. If God is real, there is no pain. If pain is real, there is no God. Now I'm going to put this hat on my camera and maybe keep it from getting too hot. Hopefully you can still see me. I don't think that's causing any trouble. No. Oh, that does. All right, let's see if that works. Pain is a sign illusions reign in place of truth. It demonstrates God is denied, confused with fear, perceived as mad, and seen as traitor to Himself. If God is real, there is no pain. If pain is real, there is no God. For vengeance is not part of love, and fear denying love and using pain to prove that God is dead has shown that death is victor over life. The body is the Son of God, corruptible in death, as mortal as the Father He has slain. Peace to such foolishness. We need to learn to say that more often. Peace to such foolishness. The time has come to laugh at such insane ideas. There is no need to think of them as savage crimes or secret sins with weighty consequence. Who but a madman could conceive of them as cause of anything? Their witness, pain, is mad as they, and no more to be feared than the insane illusions which it shields and tries to demonstrate must still be true. It is your thoughts alone that cause you pain. Nothing external to your mind can hurt or injure you in any way. Catch that, nothing external to your mind can hurt or injure you in any way. It's our mind we want to work with. There is no cause beyond yourself that can reach down and bring oppression. No one but yourself affects you. There is nothing in the world which has the power to make you ill or sad or weak or frail. But it is you who have the power to dominate all things you see by merely recognizing what you are. As you perceive the harmlessness in them, they will accept your holy will as theirs. And what was seen as fearful now becomes a source of innocence and holiness. My holy brothers, think of this a while. The world you see does nothing. Think of this a while, my holy brothers. The world you see does nothing. It has no effects at all. It merely represents your thoughts. It merely represents your thoughts. And it will change entirely as you elect to change your mind and choose the joy of God as what you really want. Yourself is radiant in this holy joy, unchanged, unchanging, and unchangeable forever and forever. And would you deny a little corner of your mind its own inheritance and keep it as a hospital for pain, a sickly place where living things must come at last to die? The world may seem to cause you pain, and yet the world as causeless has no power to cause. As an effect, it cannot make effects. As an illusion, it is what you will. Your idle wishes represent its pains. Your strange desires bring it evil dreams. Your thoughts of death envelop it in fear, while in your kind forgiveness does it live. While in your kind forgiveness does it live. Pain is the thought of evil taking form and working havoc in your holy mind. Pain is the ransom you have gladly paid, not to be free. In pain is God denied the Son he loves. In pain does fear appear to triumph over love, and time replace eternity and heaven. And the world becomes a cruel and bitter place, where sorrow rules and little joys give way before the onslaught of the savage pain that wants to end all joy in misery. Lay down your arms. Remember, in our defenselessness, our safety lies. Lay down your arms and come without defense into the quiet place, where heaven's peace holds all things still at last. Lay down all thoughts of danger and of fear. Let no attack enter with you. Lay down the cruel sword of judgment that you hold against your throat, and put aside the withering assaults with which you seek to hide your holiness. Here will you understand there is no pain. Here does the joy of God belong to you. This is the day when it is given you to realize the lesson which contains all of salvation's power. It is this: pain is illusion, joy reality. Can you get that? Pain is illusion, joy reality. Pain is but sleep, joy awakening. Pain is deception, joy alone is truth. And so again, we make the only choice that ever can be made. We choose between illusions and the truth, or between pain and joy, or hell and heaven, or anger and happiness. I mean, it's really simple. Following God is the simplest thing in all the world. Just be willing to follow. You choose joy and let go of anger or depression or whatever negative feeling. Accept God's way. Let our gratitude unto our teacher fill our hearts as we are free to choose our joy instead of pain, our holiness in place of sin, the peace of God instead of conflict, and the light of heaven for the darkness of the world. Wow, isn't that beautiful? I choose the joy of God instead of pain. This is the day when it is given you to realize the lesson which contains all of salvation's power. It is this: pain is illusion, joy reality. Pain is but sleep, joy is awakening. Pain is deception, joy alone is truth. Okay, let's take a look. We're ready for, in chapter 22 of our text, Salvation and the Holy Relationship. We're ready for section 2, the message of the holy relationship. And while you're turning there, I wanted to tell you a little bit about another pepper. And it's one that most all of us have grown and have gardens at all, but you know, it's really a common one. And it's the California Wonder Pepper. It's a 70-day peppered and a standard green bell pepper, a nice size with very good yield, a popular old-time variety. And remember, they turn red. Matter of fact, the picture they have in here is a red one. I'm reading to you out of the Baker Creek Heirloom seed catalog. So they're green, but if you let them mature a little longer, they turn red. I like them better when they're red. They have a little sweeter flavor. But you know, depending on what you're trying to cook, I suppose. Good either way. The California Wonder Pepper. And I told you I want to talk more and more about the Yarrow, Achillea millefolium. And I found this on RX list. It's good for fevers, the common cold, hay fever, absence of menstration, dysentery, diarrhea, loss of appetite, gastrointestinal tract discomfort, GI tract discomfort. It helps to induce sweating, so if you need to sweat, chewing fresh leaves can relieve toothache. So there's a few more things about the yarrow. I'm sure I could have picked one. I didn't. I probably should keep showing it to you until it really becomes clear what it looks like. I want to learn a lot about yarrow and make sure you really understand its usefulnesses. Okay, let's look in our reading here. The message of the holy relationship. Let reason take another step. If you attack whom God would heal and hate the one he loves, then you and your Creator have a different will. Let reason take another step. Okay, let's follow reason. And he says, if you attack whom God would heal and hate the one he loves, then you and your Creator have a different will. Yet if you are his will, what you must then believe is that you are not yourself. You can indeed believe this, and you do. And you have faith in this and see much evidence on its behalf. And where, you wonder, does your strange uneasiness, your sense of being disconnected, and your haunting fear of lack of meaning in yourself arise? It is as though you wandered in without a plan of any kind, except to wander off. For only that seems certain, that you're wandering. Paragraph 6. Yet we have heard a very similar description earlier, but it is not of you. And yet this strange idea, which it does accurately describe, you think is you. Let's read that again. Yet we have heard a very similar description earlier, but it was not of you. And yet this strange idea, which it does accurately describe, you think is you. Reason would tell you that the world you see through eyes which are not yours must make no sense to you. To whom would vision such as this send back its messages? Surely not you, whose sight is wholly independent of the eyes which look upon the world. If this is not your vision, which can it show to you? Or what can it show to you? If this is not your vision, what can it show to you? The brain cannot interpret what your vision sees. This you would understand. The brain interprets to the body, of which it is a part. But what it says, you cannot understand. Yet you have listened to it, and long and hard you tried to understand its messages. You did not realize it is impossible to understand what fails entirely to reach you. Paragraph 7. You've reached no messages at all, you understand. You have received no messages at all, you understand. For you have listened to what can never communicate at all. Think then what happened. Denying what you are, and firm in faith that you are something else, this something else which you have made to be yourself became your sight. Yet it must be the something else which sees, and as not you, explains its sight to you. Your vision would, of course, render this quite unnecessary. So once you get vision, you won't need the ego to tell you what you think, because you're going to have vision, which doesn't... Wind just blew that over. Wow. I hope that we're still doing okay. Let's put my hat back on the recording, on the camera. Hopefully we can do this and continue on. And hopefully the wind won't blow it off again. You've received no messages at all, you understand, for you have listened to what can never communicate at all. Think then what happened. Denying what you are and firm in faith that you are something else, this something else which you have made to be yourself became your sight. Yet it must be the something else which sees, and as not you, explains its sight to you. Your vision would, of course, render this quite unnecessary. Yet if your eyes are closed and you have called upon this thing to lead you, asking it to explain to you the world it sees, you have no reason to listen nor to suspect that what it tells you is not true. Reason would tell you it cannot be true because you do not understand it. God has no secrets. He does not lead you through a world of misery, waiting to tell you at the journey's end why he did this to you. Paragraph 8. What could be secret from God's will? Yet you believe that you have secrets. What could your secrets be except another will that is your own, apart from his? Reason would tell you that this is no secret that need be hidden as a sin, but a mistake indeed. Let not your fear of sin protect it from correction, for the attraction of guilt is only fear. Here is the one emotion that you made. Whatever it may seem to be, this is the emotion of secrecy, of private thoughts, and of the body. This is the one emotion that opposes love and always leads to sight of differences and loss of sameness. Here is the one emotion that keeps you blind, dependent on the self you think you made to lead you through the world it made for you. Paragraph 9. Your sight was given you along with everything that you can understand. You will perceive no difficulty in understanding what this vision tells you, for everyone sees only what he thinks he is. And what your sight would show you, you will understand because it is the truth. Only your vision can convey to you what you can see. It reaches you directly without a need to be interpreted to you. Vision comes to you directly without interpretation. What needs interpretation must be alien, nor will it ever be made understandable by an interpreter you cannot understand. And paragraph 10, we'll stop at this paragraph. Of all the messages you have received and failed to understand, this course alone is open to your understanding and can be understood. This is your language. You do not understand it yet only because your whole communication is like a baby's. The sounds a baby makes and what he hears are highly unreliable, meaning different things to him at different times. Neither the sounds he hears nor sights he sees are stable yet. But what he hears and does not understand will be his native tongue, through which he will communicate with those around him, and they with him. And the strange shifting ones he sees about him will become to him his comforters, and he will recognize his home and see them there with him. So we're learning a new language, and he compares it to a little baby learning to learn a language. That just keep reading our Course in Miracles and thinking about these ideas, and it's going to create a whole new language doesn't need to be interpreted, because it'll be our native. We'll understand it to be it's who we really are. Anyway, and thank you all so much for joining me on this side of this little lake. Maybe you can hear the splashing of the water. The little tide coming in and out, the wind blowing it. Anyway, thank you so much for joining me. I choose the joy of God instead of pain. This is the day when it is given you to realize the lesson which contains all of salvation's power. It is this: pain is illusion, joy reality. Pain is illusion, joy reality. All right, so until tomorrow, tell yourself often, I choose the joy of God instead of pain. And be sure to take your 2 extended periods of contemplation, early in the morning and late in the evening. And the hourly reminder, I choose the joy of God instead of pain.